this kid is gonna get himself hurt. So Jake Paul had a confrontation with Floyd Mayweather, and he wanted to pull off some kind of prank, stuff that some YouTubers do, and he did it against the wrong guy. So as he's staring off with Floyd and he's saying he wants to fight him and stuff, Floyd's like, okay, let's do it. Let's sign it in paper. Then the kid grabs Floyd's hat and walks away. Floyd gets upset, obviously. His hat probably cost like $100 grand or something, and a scuffle happens with Floyd's team. It's hard to really see with the crowd around, but it does look like Jake Paul got damaged in this. It looks like he has a black eye. Some are saying he got cut over the eye and he had a chipped tooth after this. It seemed to may have been by Floyd Mayweather. We don't know exactly, it's just speculation, but Floyd was going after him and he was very upset, more than I've ever seen Floyd. He's usually a very composed individual, but there are lines you just don't cross. You don't put your hands on someone before a fight. He's not even scheduled to fight Floyd Mayweather, so Floyd should not even have bothered with the kid, but you do not cross those kind of lines, man. These guys are trained fighters. They come from a different world. Before professional fighting, Floyd and DC and all these fighters, regardless of the sport, they lived entirely different what Jake Paul's experienced in his life. They don't play these kind of games. They don't play these pranks. They don't know you like that. And it's gonna be about time where this kid gets seriously hurt and regrets ever doing this. And in the scuffle, the kid looks scared. When Floyd is walking him down, you can see the look in Jake's eyes. When he cowered away into that room, I mean, his voice was cracking. He was holding his face and stuff. He's messing with the wrong people, going a bit too far, and you could just see he's so unaware of how dangerous things can be. Floyd has a whole entourage of people who would gladly beat up Jake Paul. It won't care about the consequences that come after it. The amount of damage that Jake took in like a few seconds in front of Floyd Mayweather should be some sort of a reality check to Logan and Jake of what can happen when you fight an actual fighter. Logan seems to be a bit more respectful. Jake is the one that's disrespectful, the one that's really stirring up and trying to get under everybody's skin, and that's still what he's trying to do. He may be trying to play mind games so his brother can have a better chance, but I don't think that's going to happen. Floyd is one of the mentally strongest fighters I've ever seen. If anything, angering Floyd is going to make the beating much worse. There was a huge chance, I would actually say the most likely chance, that Floyd was going to carry Logan and make it enticing for the fans a bit, make it seem like it's closer than it actually is, and then finish him off later in the rounds. Now what we might see is Floyd is angry enough, he's not going to play in those kind of games. He's going to take out the older brother and not give Jake Paul the light of day to come up against him and make millions of dollars to fight him. If there's any way Floyd is going to handle Jake Paul, it's not going to be in the ring. And that's also what it might have seemed like. Jake got in Floyd's face asking for a fight, ultimately trying to get the spotlight on himself, because this kid is super self-centered. He wants the spotlight on him, taken away from his brother and put it on himself. Jake Paul seems like a guy who would chase attention to a hospital. Why would he ever reward someone like that? No, if Jake is going to fight Floyd or fight anybody Floyd knows, it's going to be for no money at all. This whole thing was actually pretty funny to watch. I actually see someone put Jake Paul in his place a little bit. Just a little bit. And also what's pretty funny is, coming out of it, Floyd Mayweather is like a hero. Everybody's rooting for the guy now. For the first time in his career, it took this kid to make Floyd Mayweather a hero in a way, or someone that all the fans are supporting. It was always the opposite. People watch Floyd fights to watch him lose because he was so great, and he would be the one that would trash talk his opponents and stuff like that and be a bit disrespectful, but he never put his hands on someone to this extent unless they came in on him, unless they got in his face, like let's say Victor Ortiz or something. That is entirely different. He didn't take people's hats, he didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And it's just so crazy how it all turned around, and now Floyd Mayweather is the hero coming into a fight for the first time. And frankly, if he goes out there and knocks out Logan Paul in devastating fashion, it can blow up his popularity even more. He'd become even more famous than ever, and people would start respecting Floyd on a more human level rather than just a boxing level, because as a boxer, everybody respects Floyd Mayweather. I'm not gonna lie, what the kid just did there does make it a little bit more anticipated, right? Before with Floyd and Logan, I didn't really care at all about the fight, but with this, I'm kind of like rooting for Floyd to show his thing out there and deliver in the ring. I don't have anything against Logan Paul necessarily. He seems like a pretty decent guy. He's turned his life around and done all that stuff. He seems like genuine and mature. His younger brother, though, is an entirely different story, who's getting himself in deep water that at the end of the day, he's going to regret. He's not messing with other YouTubers here.